This story was sent to me by a follower named Caleb. It happened in 2019 near Black Mesa, Oklahoma. For years, Caleb worked as a delivery contractor. Most nights were boring. Drive, deliver, go home. Nothing unusual ever happened. Until one night, a night he still refuses to talk about. Around 11:40 p.m., Caleb finished his last delivery. The customer lived near a remote stretch of highway outside Black Mesa. The area was empty. No gas stations, no restaurants, no houses, just miles of open land and darkness. His GPS showed a faster route back home, a shortcut through an old service road that crossed several abandoned government properties. Caleb had never used it before, but he was tired, and the shortcut would save almost 30 minutes, so he took it. For the first 10 minutes, everything seemed normal. Then he noticed headlights behind him. A black sedan. Nothing strange about that, except the road was supposed to be deserted. The car stayed far behind, never getting closer, never falling back, just following. Caleb checked his mirrors several times. The same distance, the same headlights, the same speed. After nearly 15 minutes, he reached a fork in the road. One path went east, the other went north. Without thinking, Caleb took the north road. When he looked into his mirror again, the black sedan was gone, completely gone. There was nowhere for it to turn. No side roads, no exits, nothing. Yet it had vanished. For a moment, Caleb felt relieved. Then his GPS screen suddenly went black. The radio stopped working, and a message appeared on the dashboard display. A message he had never seen before. Do not stop for the black car. Caleb nearly drove off the road, because his truck wasn't connected to the internet, and there was no way that message should have appeared. Then the radio turned on by itself. A man's voice came through the speakers. Calm, cold, almost whispering. You already saw it once. And then the signal died. Caleb was suddenly no longer alone on that road. Caleb's hands tightened around the steering wheel. The voice had sounded real. Too real. He tried convincing himself it was some kind of radio interference. But deep down, he knew it wasn't. The road ahead stretched into darkness. No traffic, no buildings, nothing. A few minutes later, he noticed headlights again. His stomach dropped. The black sedan had returned. This time it wasn't behind him. It was parked on the side of the road. Its engine was off. Its lights were off. Yet somehow Caleb knew it was the same car. As he drove past, he glanced through the driver's window. Nobody was inside. The car was empty. Caleb immediately looked back at the road. His heart was racing. Then he checked the mirror. The sedan was gone. Not driving away. Not turning around. Gone. As if it had never existed. A cold feeling spread through his chest. He pressed harder on the gas pedal. The sooner he got off this road, the better. About 10 minutes later, something appeared ahead. A gas station. Relief flooded through him. Finally, people. Light. Safety. The station looked old but operational. Several lights glowed above the pumps. A pickup truck sat near the building. Caleb pulled in. The moment he stepped out of his truck, he noticed something strange. Everything was silent. No insects. No wind. No sounds at all. The pickup truck was empty. The store was empty. Even the gas pumps looked decades old, like they hadn't been used in years. A bad feeling settled over him. Then he saw movement. Inside the store, an old man standing behind the counter, watching him. The man slowly raised one hand, not waving, pointing toward the highway behind Caleb. Caleb turned around. His blood froze. The black sedan was parked directly behind his truck, only 20 feet away. And this time someone was sitting in the driver's seat. A woman. Her face was hidden by darkness, but she wasn't looking forward. She was staring directly at Caleb. The old man suddenly shouted from inside the store, "Don't let her see you, stop." Caleb turned back. The old man was gone. The store was empty again. Every light inside the building shut off at once. The gas station disappeared into darkness. At that exact moment, the sedan's headlights turned on. Caleb jumped into his truck and sped away. His heart hammered against his ribs. He had now seen the black car twice. And somehow he knew, if he saw it a third time, something terrible would happen. Caleb drove as fast as he could. Every few seconds he checked his mirrors. Nothing. The black sedan was gone again. But the fear remained. The old man's warning echoed inside his head. Don't let her see you, stop. What did that even mean? And who was the woman inside the car? 20 minutes passed. The road became narrower. Trees crowded both sides of the highway. The darkness felt heavier now, almost alive. Then something appeared ahead. Road construction. Orange barriers blocked the entire road. Caleb cursed under his breath. There was only one way around. A dirt road leading through a dense forest. He had no choice. Slowly, he turned onto the dirt path. The moment his tires touched the gravel, the temperature inside the truck dropped. His windows began fogging from the inside. The heater stopped working. Then came the smell. Wet soil, rotting leaves, and something else. Something foul, like something dead. Caleb tried opening a window. It wouldn't move. The locks clicked. Every door locked itself. Then the radio turned on again. Static, loud static. Suddenly a female voice emerged. Soft, almost gentle. "Why are you running?" Caleb nearly slammed on the brakes. The voice continued. "You asked for a shortcut. You chose this road, so why are you afraid now?" Caleb shut off the radio. The voice kept talking. The radio was off, yet he could still hear her. "You saw me twice. Look at me one more time. Just once." Caleb covered one ear, then the other. The voice remained. Closer now, almost inside his head. Then something moved beside the truck, running alongside him. Fast, very fast. Caleb looked through the passenger window, and immediately regretted it. A woman was matching his speed, running effortlessly beside the truck, barefoot, long black hair dragging across the dirt. Her head hung unnaturally low. Her arms swung in impossible directions. But the worst part, she wasn't facing forward. Her body faced the road, yet her head was turned completely toward Caleb, smiling, a smile far too wide for a human face. Caleb screamed and hit the accelerator. The truck surged forward. The woman disappeared into darkness. For several seconds he saw nothing. Then he reached the end of the forest road. The dirt path connected back to the highway. Relief washed over him, until he saw what was waiting ahead. Parked directly in the middle of the road, the black sedan. For the third time, its driver's door slowly opened, and the woman stepped out. This time, she wasn't smiling. Caleb slammed the brakes. The truck stopped barely 20 feet away from the black sedan. For a few seconds, neither vehicle moved. The woman stood beside the open driver's door. Her white dress moved in the wind. Her face remained hidden behind strands of black hair. Caleb's heartbeat thundered inside his ears. Then she began walking toward him, slowly, one step at a time. The truck's engine suddenly died. Every light on the dashboard turned off. Even the headlights vanished. Darkness swallowed everything. Only the woman remained visible, getting closer, closer, closer. Caleb grabbed his phone. No signal, no flashlight, no battery. The screen was completely dead. The woman stopped a few feet from the hood. Then she lifted her head. Caleb wished she hadn't. Her eyes were completely black. No pupils, no whites, just endless darkness. Her mouth slowly opened, far wider than any human mouth should. Then she spoke. "You forgot your promise." The words felt like ice inside Caleb's chest. Suddenly he remembered. The cemetery, the challenge, the offer he had made that evening, the promise of sweets and incense, a promise he never fulfilled. The woman took another step forward. "You asked for help. You received help. And then you forgot." The air became heavier. The truck began shaking violently. Metal groaned around him. Cracks spread across the windshield. Caleb tried starting the engine. Nothing happened. The woman raised one hand. Immediately dozens of figures appeared beside the road. Men, women, children, standing silently in the darkness. Every one of them staring at him. None of them looked alive. Some wore old-fashioned clothes. Some looked burned. Others looked injured beyond recognition. Caleb felt panic consume him. Then he noticed something strange. The 2 packets of incense. The same ones the mysterious boy had placed inside his truck earlier. They were still sitting on the passenger seat. Beside them was a small box of sweets. The exact sweets he had purchased. The realization hit him instantly. Someone had been trying to help him all night. The boy, the old man, even the strange woman at the roadside stall. They had all been warning him. Caleb grabbed the packets. The moment he touched them, the woman outside screamed. Not a human scream. Something far worse. The figures around the road began moving toward the truck, faster and faster. Their footsteps shook the ground. The windshield cracked again. One more hit and it would shatter. Then Caleb noticed something in the distance, far down the road. A small glowing light, coming closer, and whatever was carrying that light. The woman suddenly looked afraid. Caleb slammed his foot on the accelerator. The headlights sliced through the darkness as his SUV raced down the deserted road. His hands trembled on the steering wheel. The child, the old woman, the falling trees, the shadow figures. None of it made sense. Yet every second had felt terrifyingly real. A few minutes later, Caleb spotted a highway sign ahead. Relief flooded through him. Finally, a way out, a chance to leave this nightmare behind. He followed the connecting road and entered the highway. The moment his tires touched the smooth pavement, the heavy feeling vanished. The air felt lighter. The pressure on his chest disappeared. For the first time in hours, Caleb could breathe normally. Then something caught his eye. A folded piece of paper sticking out of his jacket pocket. His heart skipped. The paper. The old woman. He quickly unfolded it. The message written inside made his blood run cold. Still don't believe we are real. You made a promise. You have until sunrise. Do not forget. Caleb nearly dropped the note. Then he remembered everything. The cemetery. The challenge. The promise of sweets and incense. The money he had won afterward. And the promise he never kept. The clock on the dashboard showed 3:27 a.m. Only a few hours remained before sunrise. For the first time that night, Caleb felt true fear. Not because of the apparitions, not because of the haunted road, but because something knew exactly who he was, and it was waiting for him to keep his word. Caleb turned the SUV around and drove back toward the cemetery. The highway was empty. The sky remained dark. The clock showed 4:11 a.m. He had little time left. This time, he wasn't running away. He was going back to finish what he had started. 20 minutes later, the cemetery gates appeared through the darkness. Silent, waiting. Caleb stepped out carrying the sweets and the incense. A cold wind swept across the area. The same uneasy feeling returned instantly. His hands shook as he lit the incense. Then he carefully placed the sweets beside the gate. For several seconds, nothing happened. The silence felt endless. Caleb lowered his head. I was wrong. I asked for help. You helped me. And I broke my promise. I'm sorry. The wind suddenly stopped. Everything became completely still. Then he heard footsteps behind him. Slow, heavy, deliberate, approaching from the darkness. Caleb's heart pounded violently, but he forced himself not to turn around. The footsteps came closer, closer, then stopped directly behind him. A voice whispered beside his ear. Not angry, not threatening, calm, almost human. Promises matter. The temperature dropped instantly. Goosebumps spread across Caleb's body. The voice spoke again. You were warned. A bright light suddenly appeared ahead. The cemetery gates slowly opened on their own. For a brief moment, Caleb saw dozens of dark figures standing among the graves, watching, waiting, silent. Then the gates slammed shut. The wind returned. The pressure vanished. Everything felt normal again. Caleb stood frozen, breathing heavily, trying to understand what had just happened. Then he noticed something near the sweets, a folded piece of paper, the same kind of paper he had received earlier. With trembling hands, he opened it. Only 3 words were written inside. Deck cleared. Leave. The paper instantly crumbled into dust. The first rays of sunrise appeared on the horizon. Whatever had followed Caleb throughout the night was finally gone. He drove home without looking back. Years later, Caleb still refuses to travel that road after dark. He never challenges unknown forces. He never mocks stories people tell. And whenever someone asks if he believes in the supernatural, he gives the same answer. I don't know what exists in the darkness, but I know some promises should never be broken. Follow Nightmare Files for more terrifying horror stories.